All right. Here we are. So I am doing a live stream. I've never done this before. So I'm a little nervous, but at the same time, I just want to draw some pictures. I want to see if I can, work with the community here, and maybe we can work on some things together. I want to go through kind of like my process of like how I draw. I've got some reference images, starting from like pretty easy to like a little bit more difficult. And I just kind of want to go through the process of like what I do to make a illustration of, gaming characters, I guess. I'm going to be using Procreate Draw on the iPad Pro with the Apple Pencil, because this is it's just the way that I like to do things at this point. I hardly ever draw on paper with pencil or pen anymore. But, if you are interested in like maybe learning a thing or two about drawing, pulling up a pen and paper or pencil and paper is absolutely fine. There's always things that you can be doing with that. If you have any questions, like feel free to pop in the chat and ask any questions. I'm going to be working through this stuff, but also kind of paying attention to that as well, to make sure that I can answer any questions for you. All right. So I wanted to start out with the bandana Waddle Dee. I feel like that is a very easy, simple kind of character to draw, but he's very cute and, a fun little guy, a beloved character from Nintendo. I am working on this kind of giant artboard in Procreate, and I'm doing that just so that I don't have to like leave this environment while we're working on these things. So what I like to do is, in the brush library, I always like to start out with the 6B pencil tip, and I'll just do black. I know that some people like to do like the kind of like, anime style, like starting with like blue lines, but I don't ever really do that. I just go straight for black. And so on the iPad, what's really nice is you have the ability to have your reference right next to you. Like, this is the Photos app, and you can scale it down and move it aside so that you can have both your reference and your artboard in the same image. And so this, I am basically just going to be starting out with a very rough circle. He's got kind of a slight angle to his face. And then he's got these kind of round cheeks. So push that out. And if you look, he's almost kind of squared off, both on the top and on the bottom. Like, he's not a perfect circle. But what I do like to do is just really, really roughly lay down the groundwork for where all of the elements are. And just kind of scribble them in like as rough as possible. This was kind of something that I learned from my oldest brother when I was a kid. Is I was trying to draw everything like really crisp and like perfectly. And he told me that I needed to get more loose and scribble more. And that is something that ever since I got that information, I just kind of have been very scribbly, at least, you know, in the starting points of doing a drawing. So I'm just kind of roughing in everything that's there, throwing his big eyeballs. Right now I am just kind of drawing this reference as closely as I can. I'm just eyeballing the dimensions, eyeballing placement of things, because I'm not super concerned. This is just for practice and just for fun. You know, not working for Nintendo or anything like that. So his little weapon has some foreshortening to it. It's got kind of this wider in the front and narrower in the back kind of shape to it. And that even translates to the kind of like diamond shape that you get from his spear tip here. So parts in the front are going to be larger, parts behind are going to be a little bit narrower, and then back here these are going to be very narrow. The little tassels. And that, I think, is it's a pretty decent start. One of the nice things about the iPad and Procreate is you can really just keep scribbling. Just keep scribbling over top of things, and it doesn't really matter because you pull down the opacity. So for every layer you have opacity, and you have all of these layer filters, which I'll get into a little bit later. But now that I have this first layer set, my sketch, I can go in and start inking. And so I'm going to go to the inking tab. I set myself so the technical pen is, it comes with Procreate. It's part of like the tools that they give you. But you have the ability, if you go into the tool itself by tapping on it, you have all of these different adjustments for each of the tools. And stabilization, so if I'm drawing like this, it just kind of like follows with my hand whatever I'm doing. But if I want to stabilize things, you can see already like how those things change and how it can take a scribbly line and straighten it out. You can even see like how it kind of corrects itself as you draw. Like it's a very strange feeling to have like the line kind of trail behind, but it's really handy in some cases. So I like to have one where it's, it follows along with everything that I do, and then one that is a little bit smoother for stuff like, a really roundy character that has nice smooth lines and curves. And so what I'm going to do with this, I want to kind of replicate what I did for my thumbnail image, which was Kirby, sorry, riding on a star. And the way that I did that is I separated out each of the sets of outlines for the characters so that I could color them in a darker form of the fill color, which is kind of like how Disney used to animate their traditionally animated movies. And I'll show you that in just a second after I get some lines down. But I'm also going to be talking through like my thinking on like how I'm going to set that up. So I'm going to start just with his hand in front here. And one of the really nice things about Procreate is even with the stabilize, you know, you can see my hand isn't like perfectly steady. But if you draw a close enough representation of what you want, you can draw a shape and hold it, and it'll snap it into like a really nice solid shape. And sometimes it doesn't always work, because if you want something that's got kind of almost a point to it and you're trying to do it in one stroke, it's not really going to work all that well. So on this layer, this is the only element that I want, is just his front arm. I'm going to make another layer now and do this front foot. I'm going to move it. Another thing that Procreate does is if you draw like a circle and you hold it and you touch the screen, it'll snap it together, but you'll see this like tapered edge. Doesn't always line up, but I like this shape, so I'm just gonna fudge it and connect it and go with it, because why not? I'm also going to, in my eraser tool, I'm going to select the same pen tool so that when I'm erasing with the same kind of like line quality that I'm drawing with. And with erasing, you can do the same thing. If you draw a line and hold, it'll snap and give you like a nice curve with your line. Give them a little bit of shoe bottom definition here. Also, don't be afraid of erasing things. Don't be afraid of undoing. If it takes you several tries to get something the way that you want it to be, you know, it's not hurting anybody. All right, so now I've got his foot, I've got his hand, and these are all on separate layers. And the reason that I want them to be on separate layers is because I'm going to color them later. On this layer, I'm going to do I'll do his bandana. With the same. This reference image actually has kind of what I'm going for. It's like a 3D model, but it's got that outline quality that I'm going to be going for with this illustration, where the outlines are a darker version of the fill. So let's keep this over here. It looks good. Thanks, Mr. MB. Oh yeah, this app Procreate is so fantastic for drawing. When the iPad first came out, I don't even remember how long ago it was or like what year it came out, but it was the first time I saw a device that I was like, that is what I want. That is what I've been waiting for, is some kind of electronic device that will allow me to draw. and not have to carry around a sketchbook or a bunch of pencils or pens or paints or whatever. I can just carry around this little tiny thing. And you know, I was gonna set up a another camera to show like what my hand and my pencil are doing on the screen, which probably would have been a really good idea to have that, but yeah, I guess there's always next time. If this goes well. And anybody wants me to do this over again. Alright, so I started a new layer, and in this layer I'm doing the body, or the, I guess his head is his body. He's like a little body head character. So that's on its own layer. Oh, and I guess I could put his hand in there too, because it's all below the hat layer. Wikipedia rabbit holes. Yeah, man. Yeah, thank you for checking out the live stream, and thanks for watching the Nintendo Direct evolution, like the design evolution of Nintendo Direct's video. I was really excited about putting that out. Like, I just I was like annoying my friend with how excited I was about the potential of Nintendo having some kind of changes to their design for the intro animation of the Nintendo Direct, and he's just like, I don't care. Like, why are you telling me this? Why are you talking about this? But, you know, putting that video out, I found that there were a lot of people that were actually really interested in that concept. Interested in, like, the design of the Nintendo Directs, because Nintendo Directs are just like, it's an exciting thing. It's like little mini Christmases throughout the year. You know, you get to be excited about something that Nintendo's doing, and that doesn't really seem to happen all that often. So I appreciate that other people out there were kind of appreciating the same things and kind of noticing the same things. It was really cool. Okay, so let me talk about what I just did. So I want to, oh yeah, this is another, okay. So if you didn't notice, you can draw these curves and they'll snap, but you can also draw a straight line and it will snap. And it'll follow the pen tip around. I really wish I would have like set up a camera to show the iPad screen instead of just like my face looking down at the iPad screen. But I hope it's kind of translating well. But part of the spear goes behind him and part of it goes in front of him. But because I want those lines to be continuous, I want it to look like it's one solid unit. I don't want, you know, the back half of the spear to look like it's kind of like offset from the front. Oh. Wait, did I call you dude? Oh, Mr. MB called you dude. Sorry, yeah, so sometimes if you're just kind of like eyeballing how like a, you know, a longer like staff or pole or you know, in this case like the spear itself, if you're just kind of eyeballing where the other half is going to be, sometimes it'll look off and it'll look like it's kind of like disconnected from the rest of it. And so what I like to do is draw the entire thing. Then if you swipe left on a layer, you can duplicate it. And in one of the layers, I'm going to just going to go through and erase everything for the part that needs to be behind, and I'm going to move it down the chain. And then for the other part, I'll turn this back on. I'm going to draw where it sits in his hand, which is right there. And I'm going to remove everything else. Let's make sure I got it all. Oh yeah, I got it all. Okay. So that's my spear. Then the little spear bandana has its own coloration. So we're gonna go through and do this. And then we'll do the spear tip itself. Just here. Doing all of my straight lines by letting them snap into place so that I don't have to deal with gross wiggly lines. Connect them all. It's like a little kite shape almost. And then I want to do a little bit more with this. Make sure it's connected there. Okay. Oh wait. Now let's do his face outline. That. Snap that. Here, oops. That was fine the way that it was. Oh wait, actually, I could bring that down a little bit further. It's off. It's never going to be perfect because I'm just eyeballing it. I'm not tracing or anything. So, another thing that I had thought about though when I was doing that was, you know what? I am just going to get rid of this. Say you want, say you want that shape, and the only way to get it is to just draw it, just go for it. Here, I'm doing too many things and like thinking about them all after the fact. So if you draw a little bit further, you can just erase, or you don't even really have to, because all of these things are going to be sitting behind other things. But in the case of this, I'm seeing that this could actually be moved over. And so this tool here is your marquee tool. And you can choose if you want an ellipse, rectangle. If you want a freehand, you can just draw around. And when you go to the arrow tool, you can now select just that one element and change its location. I'm gonna go ahead and just cross over that like that. And then not only can I get rid of that, but I can get rid of where they intersect. And that helps give me that face shape. And now I want his eyes, which again, I'm going to just draw an ellipse, let it snap into place. Actually, I might as well duplicate that. Move it on over. Scale it up a little bit. Also, another thing. Greetings, Just George. Awesome. Thank you so much, George. I really appreciate it. Yeah, that Nintendo Direct video ended up getting some views for some reason. I mean, I guess it came out at a time. I put it out at a time that the Nintendo Direct was about to happen. So I hope that it didn't like fool anybody into like, you know, thinking that it was like a prediction video or anything like that. I'm going to merge these shapes down. And now I am ready. I am ready to show why I've been doing all of this way. So each of these layers is going to get a fill. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to start with the spear, the back end of the spear. And with this color, I'm going to base the outline for the spear. So if you make a blank layer and add a clipping mask, what that does is anything that happens in that layer is going to get masked by whatever is below it. And so I'm just going to click on this layer, and in this menu here, if I hit fill layer, it fills the entire layer with this brown color. But if I take the opacity and pull it down to about 60%, I now have a dark brown. And I can go ahead and merge that. And now I'm going to do the same, since I'm already on this color, with the front half of the spear. Since it's on top of, oh wait, you know what? I'm going to switch to my other technical pen so that I don't have to deal with the smoothing. So let's do this again. Fill layer. Bring this down to about 60%. And clipping mask. Merge it down. So now the spear is not only behind the bandana, but also in front of his hand. And we're just going to do that with all of the different shapes. So we'll go to his feet next, since they're kind of next in line. Sorry. I apologize. Sometimes I burp. It just happens. I can't stop it. I'll try to hold it in though, because it's you don't need to hear any of that stuff. Clipping mask, fill. Let's see what this looks like. 56. It's pretty good. And then we'll go to the other shoe. Add another layer. Fill this guy in. Another thing is, and this is funny because I was thinking about this earlier. So my brother, my oldest brother, taught me to scribble when I draw. And then my sister taught me, back when I was a little kid, that the best way to color in your coloring books is to follow the outline first and color within the outline, like just sticking to the outline. And then after you've drawn the entire outline of the shape that you're going to be coloring in, then you fill it with color. And that is another thing. And she, you know, she's not even an artist. She doesn't draw. She doesn't, I don't know like why she had this information, but she did. And I've been utilizing it ever since. I don't know if she even knows that. She's a doctor. She doesn't care about drawing. So I'm going to go back to, what was it, 50, 54, 56. Merge that down. Let's do the body color next, which is kind of an orangey brownie, maybe more orangey, like that. So this is going to go through all of here. I know, so anybody that is a Procreate user, oh yeah, and this is another fun thing, is when you're doing this, you don't really have to be super accurate because you're going to be adding more colors. I'm gonna make this a little bit more yellow, but I'll show you. So here, even though that orange is there, I can cover right over top of it and right underneath the shoe because they're all on different layers. And it makes it just super easy. to fill in that color. For me, I'm using the Apple Pencil Pro, which has the ability to squeeze. You can double tap it, and that you can actually see in the iPad. If I double tap it, it switches between my eraser and my art tool, whatever I'm using. But if you squeeze it, look at that. It doesn't even have to be close to the screen. And these things are like things that I set. You can change how these things interact. But I set it to where if I squeeze, it lets me color pick. And so since I went away from that, since I went away from that orange, I can color pick it. And now I can go back up to the hand and fill in this area. And you do want to make sure that you're kind of filling in the whole area, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. Okay. Let me take a moment to check things here. It seems like there's a lot going on all of a sudden. Kind of sleepy. Mr. MB, why do you stay awake so late? Where in the world are you? You must be in Europe somewhere, I imagine. Kirby was named after an American lawyer who defended Nintendo against Universal in Donkey Kong lawsuit in the 80s. The lawyer's name was John Kirby? That's amazing. That's fun. I love tidbits of information. Thank you. Yeah, part of what I wanted to do with this was kind of show, like, you know, just techniques on, you know, how you can, like, think about illustration and wait, what did I set that at? 56. Different ways to think about illustration, different ways to go about, you know, making your own style of art, something that, you know, represents the character or the thing that you're trying to draw, but also kind of like has your own style and your own personality to it. And you know, there's so many things that we can do with drawing, with illustration, to make things like super unique. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Clipping mask, fill, bring it on down. So here's a case. Well, here's a couple of things actually. This, I want to go back to the fill because it was dipping out. Oops. But also, this color looks yucky. It does not look good. It is kind of like a weird brownish gray from fading this down, and no matter how light I make it, it just kind of looks bad. It doesn't look good. So what I'm going to do is, instead of leaving it on normal, I'm going to try some different filters. Look at that. Color dodge. That looks great. Maybe not. Hard light looks good. Yeah, I think I like that. Leave it with that. That looks good. Merge that down. So, you know, clearly you don't have to like follow instructions like perfectly. Like, make your own decisions. And do what you feel looks best and feels best. Another tip for Procreate. If you are drawing in Procreate and you don't know this, it's very helpful I'm gonna go ahead and select black. There's another tip. All right. So when you want to select black or white, there's certain spots on, I don't really know exactly how this works, but the way that I use it is there's certain spots on this color wheel that if you double tap, it's gonna lock it. Like say you think that that's white, double tap, and it's gonna find like the pure white. Double tap down here, it's gonna find like the pure black. And so I'm gonna use that and fill in his little eyeball areas like that. And I don't want to merge any of the fills because I'm going to be utilizing all of them basically. So that one's fine. Oh yeah, this was another thing that I wanted to talk about. I'm going to clear that out. So if you click on your layer, there's this reference option. And so now this outline is a reference for every layer that's below it. But I'm going to go to this open layer. I'm just going to drag. So I click and hold on the color and I drag it. Oops. And if I drag it right into the eyeball, it just fills it right in. It looks kind of messy, but the outline hides it, so it's fine. I'm going to go ahead and move to the bandana, which is what? Like a bluey, purpley? What do you call that? What is this color? Lavender? Is it lavender? I don't know. I don't really know names for colors that well. So I'm going to pull that. Oh, crap. Oh, yeah, that's right. The reference is still on. So you have to turn reference off if you want to do any... Why is that not working? Oh, because I was on the wrong layer. Oh, wait. Let's go back. So I'm going to fill this. And you'll see that there's like some weird lines that happen, like some gaps between the outline and the area that you want to fill. So what you can do to combat that is drag this in, it fills it, and if you see up at the top, it's got threshold at 58%. If you drag to the left, that threshold moves down or moves up. And so a higher threshold will help fill things in a lot easier. So go ahead, finish this out. And then do the same thing with his bandana. Clipping mask, drop that in there. Bring the opacity down. Looks pretty good. What do we have left? The spear. And the little spear bandana, which I think looks kind of like his shoes. So I'm just going to use it. And another thing that you can do, since we're merging the color into the outline, is now that I've already like determined what this color is, I can just collect that color. Do clipping mask, pull that in there, and merge that down. That way I don't have to do any like opacity stuff. I mean, you can honestly do that with any of it. You don't really have to be following my guidance. So we're gonna go for like a grayish blue. Fill that in. I think we're good enough to turn off the sketch underneath. Fill that in. Fill layer. Clipping mask. Bring the opacity down to like there. I'm seeing I missed a spot. All right. I also missed his little rosy cheeks. and his eye highlights merge down. So we're gonna go double tap, put the little highlights in his eyes and ups. You know what, those look like crap. Oops. To a circle. Duplicate that. Pull it on over here. Rotate it a little bit. All right. This is why we wanted to keep all of these fill layers without like merging things together, is because we can do clipping mask. I'm going to go to a brown color, switch to an airbrush, and fill in the color of his eyes. And then on here, I mean, I guess I don't really have to do that. You know, I do want to merge this with this though. Merge down. This I'm going to turn into his rosy cheeks, which kind of looks like it's just the color of his, oops. The color of his outer body, but a little faded back a bit. So we'll like dip that back. All right, so now we have the base of everything. But he needs some shadows because he looks sad. And there's many ways that we can go about doing that. I'm going to, yeah, let me see. I'm just going to do an overlay here. Go with black. Bring this down. Oh yeah. Make a clipping mask into the fill. So now I can get these colors in here. Bring the opacity way down. And then take white. I'm going to, using freehand. All right, so freehand masking, you can either draw, you know, like a squiggly line, or you can do a point there, a point there, a point there, a point there, and then reconnect it. So that you can do stuff like this. Just add a little bit of a highlight like that. Give it some shape. I'm gonna go right to the main body part, his head body thing. We're gonna go back to black. We're gonna go back to overlay, pull that down, and we're just gonna add that shadow there. Not sure about overlay, actually. It might be fine. I'm gonna erase this because you can see the shadow on his hand is from that. And what is this at? 72%. Let's do the same on this hand. Create clipping mask. Overlay. 72%. Go ahead and add this shadow in here. And erase a little bit on the back side so it looks like there's some bounce light coming in. Let me go back here. Get the rest of that shadow in there. A little bit of bounce light on his back. It's looking pretty cute. is shoe, create clipping mask. Get that shadow in there. I don't remember what worked with yellow. I think it was color burn. Looks pretty good. So I'm just using airbrush for all of this. There's many different techniques that you could be using for create clipping mask. For what was the color burn? 28%. For doing shading, I'll show another one right here with this. So one thing you could do is you could just take your ink pen or whatever tool you want to use to like paint with or fill with, draw in the shading that you want, like this, and then take this, which is your smudge tool. I like to use an airbrush, but you can just drag back and forth, and that kind of blends that line out. But you have to be careful. If you want certain things to be a little bit sharper, it's kind of difficult to get it to do exactly what you want. Actually, we can also do this. So I'm going to duplicate this layer, and I am going to clipping mask it into this because it's the same. And I will use the pen shading technique. Bring the smudge tool down a little bit. Do that there. Do it on the inside of this piece of the spear bandana. Do a little bit of smudging. Back and forth. And then I guess we'll go with the spear itself. Actually, let's see how that looks on a spear. Clipping mask into that. Is it doing anything? Oh wait, that was just a smudge. Okay. There's that. It's kind of dark. Looks good. To the, oh yeah, that's a different layer. Duplicate that, bring it down to the back side of the spear. Clipping mask it in. It's already kind of there. Ugh. Get rid of that. And then the last thing I have to do is the bandana. So clipping mask. Let's do overlay. See how it looks. And yeah, I'll keep using this method. This you can also be really messy with, because you're just going to be smudging it. You're just going to smudge it out. You don't need to be clean about it. You're going to smudge it. Smudge all of this stuff. Alright. To use a paper like... Oh, yeah! DJ, I do. I've got the paper like screen protector on my iPad because trying, like, ever since I got it, trying to draw on an iPad without it is a nightmare. It just it feels gross. I don't like the way an iPad screen feels without the paper like, which is funny because I don't really want to draw on paper. So there's our Waddle Dee, and there's more you can do. I mean, art. Seriously, it's like you can. Oh, going. I said seriously, and Siri started going off on my phone. You can add all kinds of shading. I'm just gonna throw some in here real quick so you can see maybe how you can do it faster. It's already 8:49. Mr. MB, if you are still here, bless your heart, sir, for like sticking around for this long. I didn't know it was gonna take me an hour to draw this little Kirby character. I'm gonna switch to add. I'm gonna bring this way down. And right now he's looking kind of plasticky, but if we use that smudge tool, we can smudge all of these things. And give them some highlights. Just like that. Oh, wait. Like that. Then, one last thing with this guy. I want to take all of these layers. And what I'm doing is I'm just swiping right on every single layer. And it selects all of them. So now I can group it. I'm going to close the group. I'm going to duplicate the group. I'm going to flatten the group. So now it's the exact same art. It's just one solid piece. And I am going to do a hue and saturation brightness and bring it all the way down to black. Like that. Then I can take him, oh wait, and shift him back. Add a little bit of Gaussian blur. And then reduce the opacity. And now look at him just flying off the page. Flying off the knot paper. Look at him go. Oh yeah. Another thing that I like to do, and I will, you know what? I was only planning on streaming for like an hour, and it's already been an hour, and I'm still just like working on this friggin' Waddle Dee. But I'm having fun, and I hope that you're having fun too. And I hope that you're learning something. I hope that somebody is getting something useful out of this this situation. So what I like to do is I'm gonna find like a little accent color, like this bright blue. I'm gonna switch this to add and see what that looks like. But I'm just gonna add a little highlight to the side. And I'm gonna do it for every actually I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this for every piece and just bring it. What is this? This is his face. Just bring it in. Add a little bit of extra highlight on the edge. Give him some rim lighting is what this is called. Is what I'm going for here. Add it on the bandana. There, a little bit there. Oh yeah, I missed his hand. With this one. A little bit of highlight there. Look at his front shoe. Look at his front hand and his front shoe. And I'm just kind of going along the... Is that really bad? That's fine. Just kind of going along the outer edge to give it a sense of light coming from this direction, from behind him. Do it on here too. Oops. I'm just gonna copy this. Duplicate, move it onto this. Put it on the side of the stick. Duplicate, get it on the side of the stick bandana. And duplicate it and get it on the side of the spear. And there we have it. We got a Waddle Dee. Oh crap. What is this doing? Look at that. So, I don't know. That took like an hour to get through. I didn't think it was going to take that long. But I went through the entire process. I was going to draw like 4 other characters. But I also want to play some Mario Kart World before I go to bed. So, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I'm going to stick this in here. I want to go through and look at some more of your chats because this is awesome that all of you are interacting and chatting. Like, I was not expecting anybody to come and watch this. I wasn't expecting people to be chatting on here either. Lee Y channel. Hey, how's it going? Thank you for dropping in. What is my favorite video game character when it comes to its design? I would have to say my favorite video character when it comes to design would have to be Link from Legend of Zelda, just because he's... Alright, so yes, I'm obsessed with Legend of Zelda. I'm obsessed with that series, like, altogether. But he just has this, like, iconic look to him. I mean, he's Peter Pan, basically, but the green tunic, the, like, blonde hair coming out of the green tunic, or coming out of his little green cap, the green tunic, all of his, like, the belts and the gauntlets and the gloves and the boots. There's just something about his, like, design that it's like evergreen. It'll never look like old and outdated. It's so cool. I love it. But you know, when it comes to like character designs, the Legend of Zelda series just is chock full of like cool characters. Midna from Twilight Princess, like both in her like little imp form and in her like kind of human-esque form, amazing looking. Fi, or Fi, however you want to pronounce it, such a cool looking character, even though she was very simple and also kind of annoying. Like, very cool, like the design of it, and also the fact that Fi and I can't think of his name, Girahim, look like they could be like brother and sister. I thought was really cool, and the fact that they both like live within the swords of like, you know, good and evil. Majora's Mask, which was one of the other things that I was planning on maybe drawing tonight, but I like way ran out of time because of this Waddle Dee. But yeah, the Legend of Zelda series has like a lot of really cool characters, but I'm not just stuck on Nintendo. I'm not just stuck on Legend of Zelda. I'm mainly stuck on Nintendo. Like, I'm a big Nintendo kid. I've been playing Nintendo since the early or the mid to late 80s, so I still am like a Nintendo kid at heart, and playing anything Mario and playing anything Zelda, it's like those games were out when I was a little kid, and I played them with my friends and my siblings, and it was fun. So I still love them. Sorry, that was way too much talking. I use rock, paper, pencil personally. Like rock, paper, scissor, pencil? What? Mr. MB, I appreciate you for, you know, holding out until 2 a.m. European hours. Have a good night. Good night, DJ. Good night, Mr. MB. Thank you to anybody else that jumped in. Just George, Lee Y. It was great having people in here and like chatting. This is awesome. And I had a lot of fun. Let me know if this is something that you would be interested in me doing a little bit more of. I don't know. I could also maybe try to figure out how to, you know, whittle it down so it's not one little Waddle Dee is taking an entire hour to get through. Again, I had no idea it was going to take that long, but oh well. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you're new here to the channel, or if you're catching this after the fact and you happen to see this video of all my videos instead of the evolution of design of Nintendo Directs, feel free to subscribe for all kinds of design focused gaming content. I am actually very excited. I have an interview coming up with a couple guys that are working on their own video game. And you may recognize one or both of them. And, you know, you at least have either seen one and heard the writing skills of the other one, or, you know, you've experienced these people potentially. So, very excited about that. I'm hoping that that will be sometime in the next like 3 or 4 weeks or so, maybe sooner, hopefully sooner. But we'll see. And I've got a bunch of other like videos in the works, but at the time I'm like moving. I'm moving from this apartment into another apartment. And I'm gonna have a completely different setup. Very excited about it. I've been planning it for a while now. So that's kind of like taking time away from it. Maybe another live stream next week would be a good answer for, you know, being able to spend an hour putting out a video as opposed to like spending, I don't know, 20 hours like editing a video and writing a script and all of the other stuff that goes into making the videos for this channel, which is fun. I like doing it, and I've got a bunch of stuff like ready to go, but I also need to do some other like filming and stuff, so it takes a while. But thank you again for coming. Thank you for watching. Stick around for more. Follow, subscribe. And yeah, again, I really appreciate it. Thank you.